Hello and welcome to the 2021 Spirit of Hope hybrid event benefiting Ronald McDonald House Houston. I'm Lisa Molosky, and I'm thrilled to be joining you today, either via the internet or in person at Evelyn's Park Conservancy. I'm standing outside Ronald McDonald House Houston, located in the heart of the Texas Medical Center. The past 15 months have been unique. We've learned how to balance. Some events have been canceled, but we've all come to appreciate the importance of being resilient. I want to thank everyone for joining us because your support helps us sustain our mission, providing a home away from home for families of seriously ill children who are being treated at Texas Medical Center institutions. And the woman who is leading the charge for Ronald McDonald House Houston is Christina Vetrano. Christina was named Chief Executive Officer last August, and she has hit the ground running. She is a career nonprofit executive who is already taking Ronald McDonald House Houston to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christina Vetrano, who is standing by inside. Christina.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm in the great room, the heart of the house. And I'm so glad to be with you today, and I'm honored to lead this incredible organization. Ronald McDonald House Houston is a jewel located in the heart of the Texas Medical Center, the largest medical center in the world. Since I arrived 6 months ago, I've met resilient families, thought leaders in medicine, dedicated volunteers, and generous donors. The board and staff are passionate and committed to creating a home away from home for our families. Thank you for joining us today because your support helps us sustain our mission. We can't run Ronald McDonald House Houston without you. An event like today's requires great leadership, and we are so fortunate to have a dynamic team leading the way. David and Amber Hicks and Liz and James Walsh. As chairs of this year's luncheon, they have gone above and beyond to make this event extra special. David, Amber, Liz, and James, thank you for your leadership and passion. Thank you also for being willing to share your personal stories with us today. Our chairs are not only board members, but RMH alumni. Liz and James will share their personal story first, followed by Amber and David.
I'm Liz Walsh.
And I'm James Walsh, and we're the proud parents of 2 sons.
Our first son, JD, was diagnosed with dystrophic dysplasia when I was about 20 weeks pregnant. It is a rare type of dwarfism that we both carry a recessive gene for. And 2 years later, our second son, Roy, was born with the same condition. We were advised by doctors in Houston and in the dwarfism community that the best doctor for us to see was at DuPont Nemours in Wilmington, Delaware. We made our first trip up in 2015 and have traveled there ever since. JD had surgery on his legs in 2016, and Roy had a similar surgery in 2018. Then they both had surgery in May of this past year. We have braces made for their legs and for the scoliosis in JD's spine once a year.
We had heard about Ronald McDonald House through the years, but we had honestly never pictured ourselves in a position to need it. When we heard from other families in similar circumstances who had stayed at the Ronald McDonald House and had had such a great experience, it became sort of a no-brainer for us. It was close to the hospital and gave us a place to rest between appointments. Plus, we had the chance to meet other families who were on a similar journey with their children.
When you're caring for a child who is dealing with surgery, in pain, and is too young to understand what's going on, having a chance to go rest your head and get a hot meal while the other parent takes a shift is a huge relief. Every evening, there is a meal served by volunteers, which is amazing. There have been times where James has had to stay behind in Houston to work and take care of whichever child isn't having surgery. When I am in Delaware by myself with a child, having a shuttle to take us to and from the hospital has been very beneficial.
We know that we will travel for appointments and surgeries throughout our boys' lives, and Ronald McDonald House has become part of that journey for them. There have been holiday celebrations they have gotten to participate in during the midst of rehab, and it helps to bring joy to what could otherwise be a difficult experience.
I think about the song, "A Spoonful of Sugar Helps the Medicine Go Down," because we have been able to encourage the boys to work their hardest in PT or sit through just one more x-ray, knowing we would be taking them back to the house for something fun afterwards. Each visit, they get a ticket for a trip to the treasure room, and they get to pick out a special toy, which is something they look forward to and start discussing before we even get on the plane. It's great to have them looking forward with anticipation rather than dreading the appointments or surgeries.
One of the biggest benefits for the boys and for us has been meeting other families and children and going through their own struggles. It helps to keep everything in perspective. The boys have met other kids with their same type of dwarfism or who are having similar surgeries, and they see they're not the only ones dealing with challenges.
James and I get to chat with other parents from all over the country, which is great because even though we have a very supportive group of friends and family here in town, there aren't that many people who can relate to our specific circumstances.
The Ronald McDonald House has been a huge blessing in our lives, and we've welcomed the chance to help support Ronald McDonald House Houston.
The comfort and care the house provides families when they're at their most vulnerable is an invaluable service. We know firsthand how much it's appreciated. We're looking forward to the day when we can take our boys and give them the opportunity to volunteer by serving a meal or playing with the kids there. Thank you, Ronald McDonald House Houston.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Hicks.
And I'm Amber, and we're the proud parents of 3 amazing kids.
During our first pregnancy, our son Braden was diagnosed around 18 weeks with a massively dilated right atrium and dysplastic tricuspid valve. He was unique in that his heart functioned normally, which was atypical for this type of heart issue. Doctors didn't know what to expect during the rest of the pregnancy or at delivery.
As our delivery time got closer, we made our first visit to the hospital. I vaguely recall someone walking us past the Ronald McDonald House location in Texas Children's Hospital. The very sweet lady told us we would have access to the Ronald McDonald House after our son was born. And my reply, I think we're good. We don't really eat fast food. True story, and I share this because we just didn't know that much about the Ronald McDonald House or their mission. We had no idea how much we were going to need their love and need their support during this very challenging time in our lives. I mean, it was our first baby, our first child, and all we knew was you could have no issues at delivery or your baby could not even be born. It was scary. There was a lot of stress and anxiety for us, a lot of uncertainty.
About a week post-delivery, Amber and Braden were discharged from the hospital with no signs for concern. However, only 2 weeks later, at his first checkup, he was in arrhythmia, intubated to cardiovert him, and the process caused throat trauma and airway stenosis. Because at this point we were basically living at the hospital, we started utilizing the Ronald McDonald House, which is right by the NICU. It was huge to have a place to shower, recharge, sleep, and prepare for the next day.
The next 2 weeks were a whirlwind. We stayed at the Holcomb House while basically living in the PICU waiting room. Bray was experiencing arrhythmia almost daily, and the doctors started him on a very strong medication, which required 10 days to fully load into his system. It was stressful. We were scared to leave his side, and while our home is only 10 miles away, we needed to be as close to him as possible. And the Holcomb House provided that for us. It was a place to retreat and to rest, and a place for us to feel love. I can still smell the aroma of fresh baked chocolate chip cookies as we walked through the door each evening. You remember that?
It was like crossing the finish line, having survived another day.
It was crossing the finish line, truly. That memory still makes my heart smile. And there was not a single moment the house staff missed greeting us or did not know our child's name, his situation, his test for the day. It was truly a gift and such a blessing for a mother who just needed that extra comfort.
At 2 years, Bray was scheduled for open heart surgery to close his atrial septal defect and address his enlarged right atrium. The day of the surgery, Amber, Braden, and I gathered together, we kissed Bray, and we said a prayer. We then turned our son over to the doctors and began to wait with our extended family in the Ronald McDonald House family room. After what felt like an eternity, the nurse called us up to meet with Bray's surgeon, who said, "I'm sorry, but I can't operate today. Bray's heart works perfectly and the hole has closed." It was nothing short of a miracle. Bray's heart remains an anomaly, and we are beyond blessed for that. Today, Bray is now a healthy 13-year-old boy and growing so fast.
And with a desire to give back to the house, David joined the finance committee and then the board in 2010. I started a volunteer program at my company to bring awareness to the house and inspire others to give back too. We have contributed our time, our talents, and our treasures to give back to this amazing organization that not only impacted our lives, but has truly changed our hearts. There are no words to express the gratitude we have towards the incredible people who lead and operate the house, the families who loved us while we were there, and the amazing staff at Texas Children's Hospital, who not only took care of our son, but also shared this amazing organization with our family. Having a home away from home is priceless, especially when being far from your child is not an option in your heart. We are forever thankful for the love and the care the house provided our family, and we are forever inspired to share that same love with other families in need. Thank you, Ronald McDonald House, Houston.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amber, David, Liz, and James. What incredible stories you have to tell. Hi, everybody. I'm Larry Hanrahan, president of the Ronald McDonald House Houston Board of Directors. Our chairs have made it very easy for me to ask everyone to consider a contribution to the house. After all, that's why we're together. I hope you will consider supporting Ronald McDonald House Houston today. Your financial support helps us sustain our mission, and every gift makes a difference. Please take a minute to click the donate button on our Ronald McDonald House Houston Spirit of Hope webpage, or use your phone to scan the QR code you see on your screen. Thank you for your generous commitment to Ronald McDonald House Houston.
Thank you, Ronald McDonald House Houston.
Thank you, Ronald McDonald House Houston.
Thank you, Ronald McDonald House Houston.
Even during a pandemic, seriously ill children cannot put their medical treatment on hold. Last March, when COVID-19 entered our world, Ronald McDonald House Houston committed to providing services inside our hospital programs and at Holcomb House. We were able to do this because our board, staff, volunteers, and donors worked together. They were resilient and positive. And we had some incredible accomplishments. Even though volunteers were unable to come on site, daily meal donations continued like clockwork. We created activity kits for children who could not leave their rooms. We organized weekly COVID-19 testing to remain vigilant about everyone's health. And most importantly, we never stopped serving families at Holcomb House or at our locations at Texas Children's Hospital, Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital, and MD Anderson Children's Cancer Hospital. It's thanks to you and our generous volunteer groups at Ronald McDonald House Houston continued to serve families throughout the pandemic and our Arctic winter blast. Now it's my pleasure to send it back to RMH Houston CEO Christina Vetrano, who is standing by in the skywalk, which connects our two living spaces. Christina?
Thanks, Larry. Today we celebrate the contributions of 3 special groups that worked above and beyond on behalf of Ronald McDonald House Houston for our children and families in 2020. We are here today because they are committed to a spirit of hope for Ronald McDonald House Houston. First, I would like to introduce our service group volunteer award recipient, Junior League of Houston. The Junior League has been involved with RMH Houston since 1996 and has served thousands of meals to our families. In 2020, they expanded their meal service to include the hospitals. Accepting on behalf of the Junior League, please welcome Rachel Reagan. Rachel?
Thank you, Christina. I serve as the 97th president of the Junior League of Houston. For almost a century, the Junior League has served the Houston community as catalysts for change, partnering with numerous nonprofit agencies to create innovative solutions to current issues facing our city. The Junior League of Houston has an incredible and long-standing relationship with Ronald McDonald House Houston. For almost 20 years, League volunteers have served the families at Holcomb House, Texas Children's Hospital, and Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital. Serving at these 3 locations brings a unique and profound experience to volunteers. At Holcomb House, volunteers provide a warm family meal and activities and crafts for the children after family dinner. I am proud to say that even in the height of this pandemic, League volunteers did not miss a single week delivering hot meals to families at Holcomb House. And we actually doubled down and expanded our service to all 3 locations. In both hospital settings, the experience is different, but still just as profound. Volunteers speak of how families take comfort in knowing that they can take a shower or sleep for a few hours, and how meaningful it is to see a smiling face to greet them, to direct them, and to comfort them. I will tell you, as a mother who sought refuge at Ronald McDonald House at Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital while our son was in the NICU, this sentiment could not be more true. To be able to have a bed, volunteers serving warm cookies and handing you a hot cup of coffee allows a parent to take a moment to breathe and to cry and take comfort that someone sitting across is just quietly listening. This year has been like no other. On top of the League's delivery of warm meals, the League reimagined new ways to provide crafts and activities virtually and through drop-offs. Volunteers brought joy by decorating and delivering pumpkins, spread holiday joy through remote activities, and even found a way to safely socially distance behind glass doors to bring the beloved Daisy and Curly, a long-standing tradition we did not want these children to miss. We are honored and grateful to be recognized by Ronald McDonald House Houston. This award is a reflection of hundreds of volunteers whose lives have been enriched by the opportunity to serve families over the last 2 decades. We consider this incredible place part of our League family, and we look forward to serving Ronald McDonald House Houston for the next 20 years and 20 years after that. Thank you.
Our corporate group award winner is BDO. They have gone out of their way to incorporate activities, music, and goodies for the kids every time they visit the house. One of their team members currently serves as the president of the Hue Crew, our young professional group that supports the house. In fact, she is accepting on behalf of BDO today. Please welcome Rebecca Feeler. Rebecca?
Thanks, Christina. I am a managing director in the Houston office of BDO. We deliver assurance, tax, and financial advisory services through offices in 67 cities across the U.S. and as part of BDO International, the world's 5th largest accounting network. BDO's core purpose is helping people thrive every day. It is fundamentally why we exist as a firm. It applies as much to our clients as it does to our employees, but it means something more than that. Helping people thrive means helping our communities thrive as well. We do this through our BDO Counts initiative, where we empower our staff and local offices to give back. The Texas Medical Center is a vital part of the fabric of Houston. So almost a decade ago, BDO's Houston office joined the core of meal volunteers at Ronald McDonald House Houston. Although COVID-19 has certainly changed how we support the house, our commitment has never wavered. We encourage all staff, no matter what service line or seniority, to join us. Over the years, volunteering at family dinners has become a coveted opportunity with a wait list. Often, departments reserve a date to volunteer together as a team-building activity, and we encourage our college interns to help each spring. Family dinners give us the opportunity to strengthen our own culture while doing good in the community. Seeing smiles on the faces of the families we serve keeps us coming back month after month. We are humbly honored to be selected for this year's Corporate Group Award. Knowing that we have made even a small difference in the lives of the families at Ronald McDonald House is worth any amount of effort on our part. What better way is there to help people thrive every day than by bringing a feeling of home to those families that are making Houston their temporary home? Thank you.
Since 2015, Apache, our Spirit of Hope Award winner, has sponsored monthly meals for our families at Holcomb House. 2 years ago, they added after-dinner entertainment for the kids. Now, after over 20 years of support, Apache has a lifetime giving of almost $850,000. Accepting on behalf of Apache is Faye Fitzsimmons.
Thank you, Christina. I oversee community partnerships at Apache Corporation, an independent oil and gas exploration and production company with operations around the world, but based right here in Houston. Apache is committed to building lasting relationships with partners and working together to identify impactful and meaningful ways that we can support the overall well-being and critical needs of children and families in need. Since 2001, Apache has supported Ronald McDonald House in several ways, through corporate contributions, fundraising events, employee donations, and our matching gift program. By far, the heart of Apache's community support is through the dedication of our employee volunteers. For them, the opportunity to serve and engage with the children and families has been incredibly meaningful and impactful. Because our employees are what has made Apache's support possible, I'd like to share a few of their words. Adrian said, "My heart would leap for joy when I could serve as a volunteer and see the parents and children at Ronald McDonald House. We are extremely blessed to be able to be there and offer them even a small amount of care and service." And from Bashir, "Volunteering at Ronald McDonald House affirms how even small acts of service to others can make a real difference to the lives of those in need." On behalf of Apache and all of our employee volunteers, we are honored to partner with Ronald McDonald House Houston to serve and support these courageous families and children. We're excited to celebrate 20 years of community giving and volunteerism as we go forward together in the spirit of hope. Thank you so much for this honor.
Congratulations again to this year's honorees. And speaking of honorees, there are some special women we'd like to recognize today, our mothers. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, so we wanted to salute all the mothers at Ronald McDonald House Houston who work tirelessly every day supporting their families. From one mom to another, happy Mother's Day.
Every day feels like Sunday morning. Still got my day job, but I feel so free. Baby, I go anywhere as long as you'll be there. It's just you and me. You shine so bright. You help me see your eyes, your smile can change the rhythm of my heart. The winds of time can't dull your shine. Only you can change the rhythm of my heart. Your eyes, your smile can change the rhythm of my heart. The winds of time can't dull your shine. Only you can change the rhythm of my heart.
What a fantastic program. Before we close today, we want to take this moment to thank our chairs, honorees, sponsors, and all the volunteers who make our house a home. Our mission is fulfilled because of you. Whether you are part of a corporate group, your congregation, or you come on your own, you touch the lives of our families and help them get through their most challenging days. If you haven't already done so, please take a minute to click the donate button on our RMH Houston Spirit of Hope webpage, or use your phone to scan the QR code you see on your screen. Thank you for your generous commitment to Ronald McDonald House Houston. We so appreciate your support. Thanks for joining us.